Hello friends, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Professor S.P. Singh from Faculty of Management Studies, Gurukul Kangdi University, Haridwar. Today we are going to study Module 4 on Research Design. After you have finished this module, you will be able to understand the nature of research design, know the purposes of research design, comprehend types of research design. Research design refers to the plan, structure and strategy of inquiry envisaged so as to acquire answers to research questions and to control the variance. The research design makes available the answers to various questions like what is the design of research, exploratory or conclusive, what type of data is required, what are the measures and scales used, what is the form of data collection such as questionnaire, schedule or interview, what is the size of sample and sampling procedure, what are the techniques of data analysis, the nature of research design. The research design is an outcome of decisions taken and put in a sequence in respect of the study and the types of data needed, the rationale for the study being made, the sources of data required, the study area, the time available for study, the material and the number of cases needed, the procedure of selection of the sample, the techniques of data collection, the analysis of data and the decisions articulated in a manner that the purpose of research is achieved with economy in money and time. Convert the research question and the stated assumptions, hypotheses into operational variables that can be measured. Specify the process that would be followed to complete the task as efficiently or economically as possible. Specify the control mechanisms that would be used to ensure that the effect of other variables that could impact the outcome of the study has been controlled. Thus, research designs have a critical and directive role to play in the research process. The execution details of the research question to be investigated are referred to as the research design. Purposes of research design. There are two basic purposes of research design. One, to provide answers to research questions, and two, to control variance. Research design enables the researcher to answer research questions in a valid, objective, accurate and economical way. Research designs are worked out with care to yield reliable and valid answers to the research questions embodied by the hypothesis. Adequately planned and executed design assists greatly in allowing us to rely on both observations and inferences. Research design sets up the framework for adequate tests of the relationship among variables. Types of research designs. There are a number of research designs available to a researcher for investigating the research objectives. The classification that is universally followed and is simple to comprehend is the one based upon the objectives or the purposes of the study. Two types of research are exploratory and conclusive as separate research design option. Exploratory research design. Exploratory research aims to explore the research questions and does not intend to offer final and conclusive solutions to existing problems. The exploratory research is the beginning of research which prepares the platform for more conclusive research. It helps in establishing the research design, sampling procedures, and determining data collection method. Since the purpose of exploratory research is to identify new hypotheses, exploratory research study is more flexible and creative. There are some subgroups of exploratory research. Researcher leads and examines the topic to obtain additional information. The respondents are not approached with a fixed set of questions, but the researcher has a framework in mind. No two interviews follow the same way like in a structured questionnaire interview. The researcher has the flexibility to probe beyond superficial reasons. This is its strong as well as negative point in the sense that it makes it difficult to compare results. There is total reliance on the skill of the researcher, making it costly to hire knowledgeable people. Depth interviews were discredited after being in limelight earlier time, but now are making a comeback in understanding the consumer better for better consumer service. The direct questions to respondents about attitudes and motives seldom elicit useful information. The interviewer in-depth interviews tries to influence respondents to talk without restraint about the subject of interest, to put respondents comfortably to express his ideas on the subject. The in-depth interviews provide information that would not be elicited in a normal interview. Since no two interviewers proceed in exactly the same way, it is difficult to compare results. Focus group interviews. The discussion is directed from the generic product class to the product specific class to the specific brand under study. The interviews are usually recorded so that the researcher may not lose information while keeping the discussion on the track. Reports on the basis of focus groups conventionally may consist of direct quotations drawn from the interview session, which can be highly useful and stimulating to people. The guiding principle in selecting samples for focus groups is not to use single focus groups, but to have running groups until the researcher ceases to get more information. Projective techniques. The projective techniques require the respondents to project themselves into a specific situation and express different images they may have to competitive brands of a given product. A respondent may be inquired to associate a brand and a person's image or required to reverse the roles. The projective techniques are employed for making the respondents reveal more responses than appear to be revealing their feelings. If brand X were a laptop, what would it be? If brand Y were a camera, which one might it be? The personality of a respondent determines the responses. Every person has some individual traits termed as basic personality, which is very stable and difficult to change. These personality characteristics are the outcome of an individual's biological structure. A moderator should keep in mind that it is not possible to predict an individual's purchase behavior based on the personality only. Case analysis. Case analysis is basically of non-scientific nature and has drawn certain doubts. However, it is making a comeback involving the comprehensive study in one of a few specific situations, and especially the study of complex situations where interrelations of different individuals are crucial. Case research is employed to enhance understanding rather than being merely a quantitative exercise. It asks for a rare mix of judgment for selecting cases and insight for analyzing and interpreting them. Conclusive research. When a manager has to select one from different alternative courses of action, conclusive research provides him information that helps him to evaluate various alternatives and choose among them a particular course of action. Formal research procedures are the major characteristics of conclusive research. Conclusive research studies can be categorized as descriptive or experimental. Descriptive research. Descriptive research generally describes the characteristics of respondents with demographic, socioeconomic, geographic, psychographic and benefit sort. Descriptive studies can also delineate buyer perceptions of brand, audience profiles for media types with TV, radio, newspapers, journals and magazines, etc. A statement of the research problem, objectives of research and need of detailed information needs are the major characteristics of an effective descriptive research. The survey research design is often used in descriptive research, including a cross-sectional research design which collects data on few factors from a number of cases at a time. Descriptive research focuses on categories, average, percentages, dispersion and other sophisticated procedures rather than on individual cases. Causal methods answer questions such as why do events happen under certain circumstances. In ex post facto research design, a researcher interviews respondents or observes the event occurring or events that have occurred. Experimental studies involve the intervention of researcher beyond mere measurement. The common intervention of the research consists in manipulating a variable and then observing the effects of the subjects under study. The researcher manipulates the independent or explanatory variable and then observes the effect of the intervention. There is at least one explanatory variable and one dependent variable in a causal relationship. The appearance of one variable associated with the appearance of the other variable. Beyond relationship of independent and dependent variables, the time sequence of the occurrence of the variables need be considered. The dependent variable does not precede the independent variable, though they may occur simultaneously. The dependent variable takes place after the independent variable. Friends, in this module, you have studied the nature, the purposes and types of research designs. Thanks for visiting EPG Pathshala.